Have you ever heard the expression, if you think you can, and if you think you can't, you're right? That version is attributed to Mary Kay Ash, who was the founder of Mary Kay Cosmetics. But she took her original inspiration from Henry Ford, who said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. I love the statement. I've been thinking about it a lot lately because I was talking to a client this week who has made tremendous progress in her financial life and built a nice real estate business for herself and a really solid net worth and has a very successful career. But this client was comparing her stage to somebody else's finish, where she wanted to end up eventually. And I think that's so easy to do in the world of social media and instant media. We see every day that we log Facebook or TikTok, we see somebody else's finish or somebody else's curated version of their best days. People very rarely post the worst days of their life, right? Where the dog throws up on the carpet and the kids are home for a half day at school and fighting with each other, and where we had a business failure, for example, or a promotion that we wanted that we didn't get. We often don't post those things on social media. Just post the great days, right? Because we want to share them and celebrate them with other people. But when we look at everybody else's great days, it's so easy to think we are not doing as well as we should be. And I worry about this a lot as somebody who grew up with a childhood without a phone in my hand, that we've lost this ability to imagine endless possibilities for ourselves. And so what I want to talk about today, and this is a little bit different from what I usually talk about in the Real Life Planning podcast, because we talk about financial planning for real estate investors. So we talk about the intersection of those two topics. But today I want to talk about something that is a tool I can offer for you to examine your thoughts when you have these weird thoughts like, oh, I can't do it. It's not possible. That'll never happen to me. Y'all know, whatever those repetitive thoughts that you have that are preventing you from moving forward in your financial life. I want to give you a tool that I've learned in my life coach training about how you can kind of work through this and self-coach yourself using something called the model. So the model is a self-coaching tool, and it's a very simple journaling or writing exercise that you can do. And it was created by Brooke Castillo, who's the founder of the Life Coach School, which is where I had my most recent life coach training. And I have found that this simple exercise can be absolutely life-changing in just about any area of your life where you're stuck. So what I invite you to do right now, if you are somewhere where you have a notebook handy and a pen, is to, on the left side of the page, I want you to write down the letters, one on each line, or maybe put a little space in between them. CTFAR. So that's CTFAR. You can see that on the screen here. And let's walk through what each of those lines mean and how to use it when you're looking at your own books. The basic idea behind the model is that the circumstances, things that happen in the world, we have thoughts about the circumstances that happen. We have thoughts about the things that happen. And of course, thoughts are not facts. So the circumstance is the fact, but the thought is what we're thinking about the circumstance. And when we think something, that brings up feelings, right? That brings up emotions or sensations in our body that typically we can examine and name. The feeling that is inspired by that thought is what spurs action or inaction in our lives. So it's things we do and things we don't do when we feel a certain way, when we think a certain thought about a circumstance. And actions create results or lack of results, right? So there are things that we do or don't do when we have a feeling, and related to that thought about a circumstance. And those actions are going to create results in some way or another. You win, you learn, you may create a result that you think you don't want, but it's related to that feeling. So just to sum up here for a second while we're looking at this, okay? The C stands for a current neutral fact. This is a specific circumstance, a problem, a fact, something you could argue about it, you could take to court, everybody would agree on. So a fact would be something like, it's sunny outside, or she said she didn't want to go. It's something that somebody said or did in a neutral way without interpretation. A fact could be something like your net worth or the amount of your credit card debt or how many properties you own, what your salary is. Then the thought is a simple phrase. It's not a question. It doesn't have feeling in it, right? The thought, it is just what you think when you look at that neutral fact. For example, if the fact is it's sunny outside, which it is in central New Jersey, near New York City right now when I'm recording this, I might be thinking that I can go outside and go for a run. Or I might be thinking, oh, I have to stay. I'm locked in my office today recording a podcast. So you can see how two different thoughts about the same neutral circumstance could create a feeling, right? So if I'm thinking, I'm so glad it's sunny, I'm so glad it's sunny because I can go for a run, then I may feel positive or happy or energetic or determined, right? That's, I can pick any one of those feelings and work with that. And if I'm thinking I'm stuck inside working, I'll probably have a more negative feeling, right? I might feel resentful or irritated or burdened. So the thought that we think about the circumstance creates the feeling. And then based on that feeling, we're taking actions. What are we doing when we feel that feeling? What are the things that we do? Make a list of the things that you do. And then what are you not doing when you feel that feeling? So in our previous example, let's say I'm feeling energetic. When I'm feeling energetic, I might put my sneakers on. I might grab some water. I might stretch and warm up. I might put my work down and go right now because I'm so excited about the weather. With things I might not do, right? I might not take a phone or a Zoom call. I might not eat until after I'm done, for example. So what are some of the things that you do when you don't do when you feel a certain feeling? What if it was a negative feeling? If I thought sunny outside, oh, I'm stuck inside working, I feel resentful, right? So if I feel resentful, maybe I don't get all my work done. I might complain. Maybe I complain to my husband, or I am snappish with the dog. Perhaps there's things that I don't do, like I don't finish up my work on time so I can get out and go enjoy the sun. I just goof around on reading the newspaper online. Something. So you can see how when we have a feeling, we want to look at what are the things we do and we don't do when we have this feeling. And then what are the results that you're creating with those actions or inactions? What is the result that you're creating that is related to the thoughts that you were thinking about the circumstance? The positive emotion example about it's where I think it's great. I can go for a run. I feel energetic. I put my sneakers on. I get some water. I don't start on a new task at work. The positive result is I go for a run and get lots of great exercise. Okay. Or the positive result could be I enjoy the weather. I enjoy the sunny weather. If my thought is, oh, I'm stuck inside working and I feel resentful, and some of the things that I do are I'm irritated with other people and I procrastinate and do other things like reading a newspaper instead of working on work. Result is I'm still stuck inside working and because I didn't get anything done. So that's just a really simple example of how you might work through a model for yourself. And so how could you use the model to examine your own thoughts. One way to do this that I would offer you is first, is just do a brain dump of everything that you're thinking right now. 4 to 10 sentences about, I'm thinking whatever you're thinking, just freehand, don't censor it. And then read it over and just pull out one thought. Don't pull out the whole list. Just pull out one thought about something that you're thinking. And so you can write the thought down, and then what is the circumstance that it relates to? A circumstance, again, is neutral, something that everybody can agree on. For example, if you're thinking, I don't make enough money, the circumstance would be the number or the salary or the business income that you currently make, right? So that's a fact. And then your thought about it is that it's not enough. And then when you think that thought, how do you feel? What is the main sensation that you have in your body when you feel that thought? It could be fear, anger, resentment, worry, anxiety, envy. So, whatever is the main feeling that you feel inside of you, and just pick one and then work through the actions. What do you do? What are some of the things you do when you feel that feeling, when you're thinking that thought about that circumstance? What are some of the things that you don't do? Write those down. And then take a look at it and think, okay, I'm feeling this feeling because I'm thinking this thought about this circumstance. What is the result that I am creating for myself that relates back to the thought that you're thinking? So those result statements could be like something that you see happening because of all those A's, or something you think you're creating because you're thinking this thought. And so a result statement typically would be start with something like, I ensure, I create, I prevent, I become, I allow, I'm more likely to, I guarantee, etc. So just going back to that example where we've got somebody who makes a certain amount of money, who thinks, I don't make enough money. Perhaps they feel envy about other people's success. They doom scroll on social media. They compare their situation to somebody else's situation in their head a lot. They compare a lot, that they blame, or maybe they get irritable with their spouse, or they don't want to look at their financial planning portal because they feel frustrated, or they don't look at their paycheck, or maybe they go out and spend on a credit card. What are some of the things that they don't do? Maybe they're not looking for another job to make more money, or they're not getting ready to start a business. They're not saving in their 401k. It can be for anybody. Just what are the things that you do or you don't do when you have that feeling? Inspired by the thoughts that you have about this neutral circumstance. And then what is the result that person is creating for themselves? What is the result by taking those actions and not taking some action? What are you creating or preventing for yourself? So again, using the self-coaching model as a tool to examine your own thoughts is a way to kind of show, not tell yourself what is going on in your brain. And you could do these over and over again for different thoughts and different circumstances. It's a great journal exercise or journal activity. You don't have to share it with anyone else if you don't want to, but it's just a way to examine your own thoughts and to think about, oh, maybe you might not realize that your thought about a circumstance is helping to create this result for yourself that you actually don't want. There's more to building intentional models about trying to intentionally think the thoughts to inspire the feelings that will lead us to take good actions to get the results that we want. But that's for another podcast. I think for now, I just want to offer you this tool. I'm going to put in the show notes some links to some resources from the Life Coach School about what the self-coaching model is and how you can use it in your own journaling practice to look at your own thoughts and try and dig into these money mindsets that we all have that get in the way of us creating bigger possibilities for ourselves. So I hope that you have enjoyed that. This is a tool that you can use in your life, in your self-awareness practices to bring more success into your life. So see you next time.